Well, at least there aren't as many raids as there are dungeons, but this is probably still going to be a long video. Hello, my name is Stravitt. Thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to help you try to find all of the raids, right? We want to take you those last few steps just in case you can't find that raid yourself on your own based on the adventure journey. So in case you're not aware, you can actually click right here on the adventure guide, and here it'll say show map, and you can actually use this and get an idea of where the raid's at. But actually trying to get to the entrance itself can be challenging, I have to admit. It can be difficult for some people, especially for the older raids. Uh, of course, for all of these things that I'm doing here, you can always look, if you're not sure exactly where I'm at, it tells you the zone, and it also tells you the grid coordinates right here. If you need just like a little more specificity as to where I'm at, I try to really explain it, but just in case, here you go. So I get this question all the time, especially from my wife, right? Where's this at? Where's that at? Because she loves the transmog stuff. So this is a guide for her. And if you can make use of it, that's great as well. Let's get started. All right, here we are. We're going to take a look at our very first raid. So in Classic, it's going to be Molten Core, and we're going to look at Blackwing Lair while we're here. They're both in the same area, right? We're also going to take a quick look at Blackrock Depths, because we're going to show you the actual entrance to Molten Core as well. So let's mount up and head this direction. This is Iron Summit, and it's in the Searing Gorge. So that's where we're starting from. We just take this flight path into the mountain and follow it all the way down. I'll kind of show you the way you go if you're mounted a little bit, right? We'll head down the chain, but then you go through that door, and you go through that door. It will run you around the path to where you take this other chain all the way down. Now, you talk to this guy. He does have a teleport straight to Molten Core. So you don't have to go all the way to the entrance, but I like showing you guys where the entrance is, right? That's what we do here. We take you all the way to the swirly, that last little step, just in case you don't know how to get there. And in order to do that, we have to go to the entrance of Blackrock Depths. We actually have to go through the dungeon until we get past a certain boss. And then once we get past that, we can continue on to the raid itself. Probably going to fast forward. Okay, and once you are in the dungeon, there's another way to get here, but I just kind of wanted to show you if you have to fight your way through. Once you're past the 7, there is a little path. Instead of taking the doors straight through, you can just take a quick right. And as you head down this little path, you used to have to do the quest down here to grab extra cores in order to get the teleport. But there is our entrance to the Molten Core. If you would like to know how to get there, you just go to the dungeon, fight your way through. Once you get past the 7, you do have the path to make it to the Molten Core. Okay, so we're still here in Blackrock Mountain, right? And we've come up from the Blackrock Depths. And next thing we need to do is find our Blackwing Lair, right? So we're going to go like we're going to the spire. Tick, 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 tick. We just follow that same path. Up and up and up we go. And this time we're going to go the other direction once we get to the top here. So last time to go to the dungeon we went that way. Just going to go up this path. And no attunement quest or anything this time. Click on this, and it takes you to the dungeon. Easy breezy. This dungeon, just as a caveat, if you're a hunter, there's a great bow you can get from here. And like there's a suppression room, that boss, he drops a, I don't know, I like the bow. All right, so next on our list, we'll pop open our dungeon journal here, and it's Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj and Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. If you can find one, you can find the other. I am here in Magni's area, right? The Heart of Azeroth place is just down the way here, but here's Magni. You can also get there from the Centurion Refuge area. If this isn't, what's the word, phased for you at this point. Should be able to fly here, yeah. There we go. But essentially, as long as you're in the middle of the map, just head south. And you can actually see the insectoid structures over here. And on the map itself, it actually does show you the little green swirlies. There are some raids and dungeons, especially the newer ones, where the dungeons will show you a little blue swirly on the map, and the raids will show you a little green swirly on the map. Not for all of them, though. I wish it were for all of them already. But sometimes you still need that last little step. So again, that's why we make this. So this first one is the Ruins of Ahn'Qiraj. There's our entrance. So for the temple, all we do is kind of swing around, follow this road up. And once we get to the top of this path, we should see the entrance for our Temple of Ahn'Qiraj. There you have it. Okay, so next on our list, it is Karazhan. Now, I am outside the Tower of Karazhan right now as we speak. So let's just go ahead and show you how to get here and where we're at. The name of the zone is Deadwind Pass, and the way to get here, the best way, is if you're Alliance, there's Darkshire, right? You can take a flight path to Darkshire, and that'll take you here to Deadwind Pass, and you can just follow that all the way down to the tower. Swamp of Sorrows is right here, and the Horde has a fortress over here called Stonard, I want to say. You could take your flight path to there, and then just come at this from the other side and follow it all the way down to the path until you can reach Karazhan. And the entrance for the raid is right inside this gate. Once you go in, you pop the door open and have a blast. It is an awesome raid. Next raid, it's going to be Gruul's Lair. And to get here, I am in Evergrove. I think that's what this place is called, right? Yep, Evergrove Blades Edge Mountains. So from here, don't fret too much. It's pretty easy to get there. Just going to fly past this Archavon area. Inside this huge cave is the entrance to our dungeon. Now, if you have to get down the hill here, it's quite a ways. Our very next raid is Magtheridon's Lair. We are in Honor Hold, and for my Horde brethren, you know, there is Dazar'alor right over there. We're gonna fly over to the ramparts here. So the ramparts, all of their entrances are on this side. But for the raid, we're gonna fly around to the back side of the ramparts here. And you can get here on the ground mount. You just have to get all the way to the back side. When you get to the back, you'll see this door. And lo and behold, we have our raid entrance. Our next raid is Serpentshrine Cavern. We've done dungeons for this already, but I'm going to go ahead and show you where the raid itself is. So we are in the Zangarmarsh. We're in the Twin Spire PvP area. So Tel'Rador is right there. And for the Horde, you have Zabrajin. It's right there. And we're looking at Serpent Lake. And of course, when you look at Serpent Lake, you have this big, huge steam pump area thing. And we're just going to follow this till we go right down the middle. And as we head right down the middle, we'll see this pipe we can swim through. We just follow this all the way through. And when we come out on the other side, this isn't as hidden away as the dungeons are, because we just head right down the middle. And then there is the entrance to the raid for Serpentshrine Caverns. Our next raid is called the Eye. I've always called this Tempest Keep. Whatever, they call it the Eye. Big thing here, Ashes of Alara, Kel'Thas, right? That's why we want to come here all the time. I am at Cosma Wrench here in the Netherstorm. And simply enough, from Cosma Wrench, you know, you have all these boat dungeons that we looked at earlier in our previous videos. Just fly straight through here. And it's the entrance to the Eye or Tempest Keep, whichever. Our next raid is Battle for Mount Hyjal. We are in the portal room inside Stormwind. And we're going to take the Caverns of Time portal. Okay, so we took our portal. We got all the way down to the bottom of the Caverns of Time. And we're going to go to the Battle for Mount Hyjal. Kind of look for something that looks a little bit like Mount Hyjal. And you just follow this around until we get to the entrance of our raid, which is right there. Next on our list, we have Black Temple. It's where we kill Illidan, but not really. I am at the Sanctum of the Stars. The Ulduar have Altar of Shatar. You could get to it from either way. So you just... Essentially, there's the Black Temple. It's the big-ass building. You're going to have a hard time missing that, right? But the entrance itself, I don't know. I've always known where it is, but I guess it can be kind of sneaky if you don't know. Because we don't do a full frontal assault of this place, right? We're not going through the front door because we weren't that powerful back then. We didn't like bust down the front doors of places. We like to sneak in through the sewer. So we come here and we look for this crack in the wall. And this is how we enter the Black Temple. We go in through the sewers and go at it from that direction. We are on our last raid for Outland. We are in Shattrath, and we're looking for Sunwell Plateau. We look at this little guy right here, and if we click on this, we can see Portal to Beldanas. We're going to click on that. Oh, I can't fly here. Oh, well. That's fine. We will just jump down here. So this is where the portal's at. Let's show you the map. We're just going to take a little jaunt across this bridge. You could actually see it from here now. Once we get across the bridge, we can take a peek right over here inside this big, huge door. And that is how we get to Sunwell Plateau. Our first raid in Wrath of the Lich King is Vault of Archavon. This is an interesting one. This is inside Wintergrasp, so you had to have control of Wintergrasp to get in here. I imagine you still do, and swear to it or not. Once you do, you have this portal you can take. When you get inside, there's the entrance to our raid for the Vault of Archavon. Our next raid is Naxxramas. It's lovingly known as Nax, right? It was a classic dungeon. Originally, they brought it to Wrath of the Lich King. You can actually see it off in the distance here. We are in Winterguard Keep. The Horde has an undead base called Venom Spite right here, so it's not too difficult to get to from either post. Just fly to the floating citadel thing. I don't even know what those are called. But it's a floating fortress. We'll call it a floating fortress. And we come at it from its underbelly. And we skip right into here. Now they do have all the different quadrants. It doesn't matter what you go. You go in and you can choose which wing you want. Choose any entrance. You're good. The next two we are going to do are going to be Obsidian Sanctum and the Ruby Sanctum. And we're just going to do them both at the same time. You'll see why. We are at Wyrmrest Temple. And you could walk around if you want. We're just going to fly down to the basement of the Wyrmrest Temple here. Once we get down here, straight ahead is going to be the Obsidian Sanctum. It is right there. Now, Ruby Sanctum is right here. So both of these are very nice and easy to get to. Our next raid, Eye of Eternity. So we are in the Bjorn Tundra in the Caldera area. It's a Transitus shield inside the Caldera. This is pretty simple. We mount up, and just like when we were going to the dungeons, we just go into the big magic mountain area. And the raid is the one at the top. The next raid we have is Ulduar. Man, I just flying through these zones. I miss this expansion so much. It's just so gorgeous. I love this. This flight path is called Ulduar. It's in the very north of Storm Peaks, the Storm Peaks zone. We already did our dungeons over here. There's one to the right and one over to the left. But the raid is right down the middle, right? We just fly up to the big, huge tower. And when we get to the top of the steps here, that's when we have the Ulduar raid entrance. The next raid we have is Trial of the Crusader. And we are at the Argent Tournament grounds. So you have this arena complex thing in the middle. Just go ahead and go to the front. We'll get a good look at this. We run up these steps, follow this path, and there's our entrance for Trial of the Crusader. Next on our list, it is Onyxia's Lair. So this is another raid that was co-opted by the, later expansions. At least they left this one a raid instead of making it a dungeon like they did with some of the others. So from Mudsprocket, let's take a quick peek at where Mudsprocket is. We simply just go through this quagmire here. Giggity. Wait. So, by the way, this is in Dustwaller Marsh, right? From Mudsprocket, we just follow till we see this big mountain. And once we get here, we click on the deal. There is the entrance to our raid. Next on our list, we have Icecrown Citadel. Let's take a quick look where we are at. There's Dalaran. There's magical floaty ships over here, right? We're in the Icecrown zone. You can see the big Icecrown Citadel right here. We're just going to kind of show you exactly where that entrance is located. It's essentially the front door. In this case, we do go through the front door instead of going through the side entrance. So we're just going to zip on through and duck our head in through the main door. Once we do, get a peek at our raid entrance. All right, while we're waiting, so a fun fact, inside here, you'll hear of Invincible, right? So Invincible's reigns. If Lich King, I think this has to be heroic. I'm on 25 heroic. And there's Invincible's reigns. Punk. All right. Next on our list, we're on Cataclysm Dungeons now. Oops. And we are looking at Baradin Hold. Now, this is an interesting one. It's another one of those. It's like Wintergrass. It's a PvP area, role PvP area. So we're going to go ahead and just show you how to get there. The goal is to get across this bridge. So essentially, just follow the map. So now that we have crossed the bridge, we're just going to go to the main structure that is in the middle of the I guess you could call it the secondary zone here. Now this is owned by the Horde, so we're probably not actually going to be able to see the entrance to the raid. But we'll give it a shot. Oh, let's go down. It still shows us. Awesome. Who knew? You used to have to own this in order to get in here. But there you go. There's the entrance to the raid. We are on the Iron Summit again in the Searing Gorge. We are looking at Blackrock Mountain again in the Searing Gorge. Our next raid is Blackwing Decent. Now we do have to fly to this one. We can't just get there willy-nilly anyway that I know of. But we just kind of fly towards the mountain over onto the east side. And there's the entrance to our raid. I wonder how many times I've said dungeon doing this. Bastion of Twilight. We are in the Twilight Highlands, and we are at Victor's Point. You can see this thing from forever, from a couple of zones away, no matter where you're at. See this big, huge spire here. We have to fly all the way to the top. Like, all the way to the top. You could get to it from the wetlands. You could see it from forever. It's tall. All the way to the top. And once we hit the top, we have our raid entrance. Throne of the Four Winds. We are at Akhenaten Harbor. We're here because I think there should be a flight path here, but to tell you the truth, I don't remember anyone. Since it's all corrupted. But we're at the Akhenaten Harbor. There's at least a mailbox here, so yeah, there used to be something. But you can see the raid from here. You look up in the air, and it's up floating in the sky. Now there is a dungeon that floats up in the sky. It's over there. But we're going to go to the raid, which is right there. Is the entrance to our raid. Our next one is Firelands. So we are at the gates of Sultan in Hyjal. Just gonna jump from there right through this path, and you can actually see the large temple structure for the Fire Lord. We go right through the front door, man. That's it. Just tick 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 tick. We're flying. We're going. This song is flying. And there is our entrance. Our last one for Cataclysm is Dragon Soul. So we're going to actually take the Caverns of Time portal again. We are at the bottom of the Caverns of Time again. So from here, you're going to go, I guess, I don't know what you would call this. I know this is where Dragon Soul is, but I don't know how you could tell that's what it is. I guess that looks kind of like a Wormrest temple type thing. But then there you are. Dragon Soul. Our first raid in Pandaria, Mogu'shan Vaults. So I am actually in a little village called Zhaochin Village. It's kind of in the northern part of Kublai Summits. From there, you can actually see where the vaults are just from that village itself. We'll just fly up to the top here. And at the top is the entrance to our raid. All the way up. There you have it. We are going to go to the Heart of Fear next. And we are in Plaxives. So this is where it's at. And you can actually see that, no, kind of see where we're headed. It's this big tree with the temple complex attached to the front. So we're just going to fly there. And once you get there, you kind of just run up the steps and go straight inside. There's the entrance to our raid. Terrace in the Spring. I am at the Tavern in the Mists. So there's a flight point that takes you right there. It's all the way up the stairs here. I tried to go to the Black Market Auction House, but apparently can't get to it anymore from there. But if you just follow the path right behind the tavern, all the way up to the top, you'll see the entrance to Terrace in the Spring. The next one we have on our list is Throne of Thunder. To get to the Throne of Thunder, we first need to get to the Isle of Thunder. So to get there, we go to the Shadowpan Garrison, which is right here, kind of just before you get to the bridge that takes you to the Temple of Ny'alotha. I don't know how to say it. There's a portal here for the Alliance and portal for the Horde. Just click on the portal. Now, depending on what stage of the Isle of Thunder you are, as far, how far you progress throughout it, the main goal is to get from this side all the way to the main Emperor's Complex up here. So from this point, I'll just show you once we get to the temple itself. Okay, so we made our way to the Isle. We've made our way to the, I guess you could call it the palace. We've gone from the palace all the way to the back to where we have our entrance here. Okay, we are at the last raid for Panda Land here. It's going to be Siege of Orgrimmar. It actually starts out here in the Vale of Eternal Blossoms. I was at Shrine of the Seven Stars right there. And the entrance, since they repaired it, it's underwater. Depending on the time period you come here, I don't know if they're going to keep it that way or not. I don't know. But there you go. It's the entrance to Siege of Orgrimmar. Okay, we have made it to Warlords of Draenor. The first raid we have here is Hyjal. Now, I know Warlords of Draenor gets a bad rap, but they did have some really good raids. It wasn't all bad. So we're actually flying in to what's this? Rilzit's Holdfast. I think there's a closer one, but this is the closest one I have. So we're gonna use this flight path, and you can actually see it. The main thing is we're in the Grand. And we're going to be going all the way to the west from the Grand until we get to our raid entrance. This was actually a pretty good little raid, to tell you the truth. It was good fun. So if you're following the road, you just follow it all the way through. But easy breezy, right up the stairs there, and you have the entrance to your raid. Oh, by the way, it doesn't look like there was a closer one. For some reason, I thought there was a flight path to here. Guess not. Next up, it is Blackrock Foundry. So we are at, there's a couple ways to get here, but we're at Skysea Ridge and Gorgrond. We're just going to take this and kind of follow it around the pit as well as we can. Oh, I'd like to say we could get there from here. If we're on a ground mount, yeah. Then once we get we just cross this bridge, come around and cross that bridge. And this place is huge. You're not going to miss it. But the door itself is right there. That's what we like to do. We like to show you the swirlies of where the door is at. Our last raid for Warlords of Draenor, Hellfire Citadel. Now we are at Lion's Watch in Tunon Jungle. This one's super easy. You can see the damn thing already. Right there. There's Hellfire Citadel. But the entrance, just follow the main road. It's not... this one's... We don't need the guide at all. But, oh well. Here it is. Hellfire Citadel. We are in Legion, and the first raid is Emerald Nightmare. Now, we are at Temple of Elune, and I like to do this because when we did the dungeon, we came from this other point. We're going to come at it from the other way, here from Temple of Elune. So we're just going to follow the road down. I have to be careful not to fly too high here. Blizzard cheated, right? Usually when you see something, you can go there. They have this big, huge tree, and if you fly too close to the tree, they don't like it, and they want to kick you. So, it's a good thing, because that way I make you stay close to the road, right? So we'll just kind of take this little path right through here, a little super secret, sneaky hidey path, right? That takes us right to our raid entrance. It's super nice. There you go. Emerald Dream. Emerald Nightmare. Okay, next on our list is Trial of Valor. If you remember the Halls of Valor, Trial of Valor is going to be pretty easy to get to. I'm taking us a different way from Grey Watch, because it's pretty simple there. You just kind of climb up the hill, and as we come around the corner, it's again kind of from that same area. But when you're flying, it's much easier. Go to the main huge Titan structure here. And once we go through the door, of course our Halls of Valor are on the left, but our Trial of Valor is on the right. Next on my list for the raid is the Nighthold. I'm here at the front gate of Suramar City again. There are plenty of ways to get there, but this one is mine. This will be the simplest way to show you without you getting lost. I put on my mask so that I can go through here mostly undetected. We take these stairs down. And once we get to the bottom, we make our right. Then we just go in through this door here.
All across the city. This cannot stand. Slay the guards.
We work our way down into the belly of this particular temple. Ah, they saw me. That's too bad. So once we get down into the belly, you'll see the meeting stone. Then we just go this way. Have to get down the stairs. All the way down the stairs. There is the entrance to our Tomb of Sargeras. Next, we are at Vengeance Point on the Broken Shore. And you can see the huge Tomb of Sargeras structure here. This time we go to the front door. Last time we kind of snuck around to the side. But for this one, the raid entrance is, you know, no fuss, no muss. We just go through the front door. That's the entrance to our raid. I don't know how many times I say that, Jay. Oh well. Okay, our last raid is going to be Antorus the Burning Throne. So for Antorus the Burning Throne, we need to get to the Vindicar. So here in Dalaran, we have our little handy dandy portal. Take us to the Vindicar. Once we get there, we're gonna take this portal over to the Antorn Wastes, because that's where the actual raid entrance is. Depending on which ones are open, it looks like this one here is my best bet, which is Hope's Landing. I think they switch up week to week. So at least you'll know how to get to it from Hope's Landing. Sorry. Where's my bad? We could have decided right now. Once we get here, you will see the crack in the wall. That is our entrance to Antorus, the Burning Throne. We finally made it to Battle for Azeroth. And our first raid is Ulduar. I'm here at, I want to call it Camp Victory all the time. Fort Victory. There we go. And we're just going to follow this path. There's a big, huge temple complex right through here. We're just going to fly towards that, follow the main road, but we go down, down, down once we get close to the temple complex. Then we just kind of follow around the foot of it. And we happen just to run into the raid entrance. It's not that crazy. I actually would suggest dropping down right here. Boom. There's an entrance to our raid. Next on our list, Battle of Dazar'alor. If you are Alliance, hell, your life is easy. I'm just here on the main Alliance ship. We'll take this down and follow it around until we get here. And there you go. Battle for Dazar'alor entrance if you're Alliance. Now we have to look at the Horde. Okay, so here we are. We got to look at Battle for Dazar'alor if you're a Horde type, right? There's our giant pink pyramid. And we're just going to follow the road all the way out of the city. It's so if you're Horde, it's not quite as easy as if you're the Alliance, because you kind of have to run out of town before you get to the entrance to your raid. Of course, though, right outside of the city gates, we have our entrance to Battle for Dazar'alor. The next raid on our list is the Crucible of Storms. We are here at the Mendenhall Meadery. Just gonna, once we leave that flight path, gonna fly for the big hentai mountain here, essentially, right? It was always nice having the water walking. Now it doesn't matter anymore, but when you had the Water Rocket Mount, you could just run straight across there, skitter right up this hill here. This one's pretty straightforward.
We must send this creature
A lot of
back
them
to
have
its
tended to be
destroyer.
that way. As, you know, everything gets older and newer. But there is our raid entrance. The next raid on our list is the Eternal Palace. To do this, we have to go to Naxxramas. So hopefully you have the portal. If not, you have to do whatever quest you need in order to get here. I don't know how Blizzard's going to work this out in the future. And the main goal is to get all the way back to the back of the zone here. From, you know, if you're Horde, you're here, and if you're Alliance, you're here. You're trying to get all the way back to the back. Now, once we are all the way to the back of the zone, and you see this huge, you know, statue to Ajara, you flush yourself. That's the secret. You know, like, what was that? Throne of Tides and Cataclysm, the dungeon? You just flush yourself.
Champions, Naxxramas is hostile territory, and it is imperative that we establish control over the region. Our scouts have marked several key strategic locations. Do whatever it takes to secure them for the Alliance.
Once we get to the end there, it brings us to the entrance of our dungeon. Raid. Entrance of our raid. Okay, last and possibly least for Battle for Azeroth, we have Ny'alotha, the Waking City. It's different depending on which zone is corrupted. This week, it is Ulduar. So we come from Ramekin, right there. And this is pretty easy. We just fly over to the tower structure, and it has the entrance to our raid right here for us. There is one in Pandaria. I'll show you where that is located coming up next. Ny'alotha, the Waking City. Pandaria is not corrupted right. We are leaving Shrine of the Seven Stars. If you're the Horde, you have Shrine of the Two Moons right over here. The same story. We're just gonna fly in between the two statues here. So if Pandaria was the corrupted zone, the Ny'alotha, the Waking City entrance would be inside here. So this is the easiest landmark I could show you to help us find our way to where the entrance is. Because right as we come through those two broken statues, the entrance will be right here, right above the water. You'll see it. And that is it for raids. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please make sure that you like, you comment, and you subscribe. And also make sure that you follow me on Twitter and Twitch for more content. The links are in the description down below. Until next time, make sure you turn on War Mode.